TrippleDmusic.com.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. It's raining torrentially outside. We're going to give persons a few more minutes to join in. Dr. Fox, I saw you there. Are you still there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. So
Okay.
you can take over whenever you need to.
Okay.
But we were just trying to give persons a few grace period because it's really raining hard outside. I don't know if it's raining in your area.
It is. It's raining pretty hard. So another 2 minutes, maybe? Hello?
Yes, another few minutes.
Okay. You want to start? Aaron, you want to start?
No, you go ahead. You are the host of the meeting, so you tell me how it's run.
Okay, so we can start. Good evening to everyone, and thank you for joining the symposium and open discussion with breast cancer survivors. Tonight, we will discuss their journey from diagnosis to treatment. Tonight, we welcome our panelists, Janet Johnson, Denise Johnson, Suzette Hanna, and floor members that would like to briefly share their journey. I call these women soldiers in the battle that experienced victory after surviving and are now living their lives to the fullest. Before we enter into our discussion panel, I would just like to say a few words about breast cancer and what is happening in the Bahamas. October is designated Pink Month or Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Now, let's not negate the other cancers because they are important and should be discussed too. But tonight, our focus is on breast cancer and what it takes to survive. So let's welcome our first panelist, Denise Johnson, and let's hear her story. Welcome, Denise. Is she there?
Well, for the sake of letting others join in, we would have opened up in prayer. So I will just say a little prayer.
Okay.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for all that are going to join in. We ask that you give us information through the survivors, through the fighters, that can be passed on to those that are newly diagnosed. Father, we ask that those that are on the road, bring them safely to their destination in all this wet weather. We thank you and we give you all the glory and honor and praise. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
You want to ask if any birthdays or any anniversaries, anybody celebrating something today or in the month of October? You know, we pray God's blessing. I don't like to say wishes for genies. We pray God's blessing upon each and every one that is celebrating a birthday or anniversary today. I don't see, I see Janet is here. I see Denise is here.
You're muted.
Oh, sorry. Yes, I don't see Suzette, a panelist. So,
yes, I'm here.
Oh, you're here. Okay, good stuff. I asked Hannah. Good, good. All right. Well, I will just show some announcements, what's going on at the Cancer Society, and then we can dive into the great part of hearing the journey from all those that have been affected by breast cancer. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we love to showcase our shirts. And sale of the shirt goes towards the Cancer Caring Center, where we house persons from the Family Islands that are going through treatment here in Nassau, and to make their stay comfortable and stress-free. They don't have to worry about paying a dime staying there. So proceeds from our fundraising and our sales help them to live comfortably and go through their treatment stressless. So these are a few of our shirts that we have to offer. They came out the end of September, and so far we still have a few selective sizes. All of the larger sizes are gone in this style, but we still have many of the other sizes. We also have this design. Again, the 2X is gone, but we have extra large, from extra small up to extra large. This is another one of our designs. One I'm wearing also when I turn back on my camera. So these are the breast shirts, and they're $35 a piece. We're open Monday to Sunday. You can come even on Saturday. There's always someone to the desk that will be able to assist you. We just advise that if you come on the weekends, you pay by your credit card, because we don't keep a float up front. We also have leggings, cancer awareness leggings, which you can wear at the numerous fun run walk that are coming up that are showcasing cancer, or you could just wear them because you're just supporting someone that has been diagnosed, or you are a survivor yourself. On the 28th is our family bingo night. It's a night of fun, and it's for the entire family, including the kids that like to play games and like to win prizes. Bring them. Admission is free. You only pay for your bingo cards. And it's at Super Club Breezes, Cable Beach, starting at 6:30. Also, Grand Bahama is having a fundraising event. It's called Battle of the Bra. And if you download the Canoe app, you'll be able to vote. Each vote costs $5. And again, the funds go towards the Cancer Society of Grand Bahama, which they help persons with their cancer, persons that need to come to Nassau to stay here. They assist them with airfare, or if they need a port or medication or any assistance that they need. This is what the bra looks like. And if you want to help or you want to let persons know to support, this is one of the bras that they're having their competition. And that's it for our announcements for tonight. So I will let Dr. Fox take over and start the meeting.
Good evening once again. I'm Dr. Nicholas Fox, Senior Staff Physician at the MediCenter, Vice President of the Cancer Society, and a cancer survivor. So let's start this panel with an input from Ms. Denise Johnson. Ms. Johnson, welcome. And can you tell us your journey and what it was like and your experiences?
I think her mic is muted. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, you're right. So, because of the pandemic, I wasn't able to do my regular checkup. So back in February of 2021, I went to see my doctor who recommended me to do a mammogram. But I've always had to do ultrasound as well. So
recording in progress.
I had that done. And she said to me, you know, it would probably be advisable to check again with an ultrasound back in a couple of months. Well, I had lost my job and then I got a job. And so I got busy with life and, you know, the time passed. And it wasn't until I was visiting with my daughter in Atlanta back in September now, so this is almost 6 months later, that I started to feel a lump. So when I came back, I immediately went to the doctor and had my ultrasound done. And it was at that point, they told me that it was a possibility. There was suspicious, you know, there was something there that needed to be further diagnosed. So I had to do a biopsy and the specimen, of course, was sent away. And when it came back, I was told that I was at a stage 3. I had HER2 breast cancer. At first, it was like, I think I was more numb than anything else when I found out the news. I've been very fortunate, I must say, that I've been surrounded by a very supportive family and friends. And, you know, my husband said to me, you know, Denise, you know, just pray to God that he'll give you the strength just to make it through this, you know. And I remember one day when I was at work, I think it just hit me. And my boss said to me, I need you to speak to somebody who's been through this journey. And so he put me on the phone to her. And immediately, I mean, she called me right back and she said to me, and I've never, honestly, I still haven't met this lady. She lives in Grand Bahama. But she said to me, Denise, I want you to know something, that this is not a death sentence. You know, a lot of people hear cancer and they think, oh, this is the end. It is not a death sentence. She says you need to stay close to your God. You need to stay positive and you can make it. You will do just fine. I must say my treatments, I just finished my treatment in March, my final treatments in March, and relieved to know that I had a PET scan just recently and there's still no sign of any cancer. So I'm really praising God for all of that. But, you know, what I want to say is that, you know, it wasn't an easy road, but I did exactly what she had recommended. I stayed close to people who were very supportive. I try to stay away from the negative talk. A lot of people would say, oh, so and so had breast cancer and this, and then they would, make it really a horrible story for you. So I try to stick around with people who are positive and, who prayed with me and everything like that. And although there were times when honestly, I didn't know if it was going to, how it was going to end up, I still held on to my faith, and the support. I had a very good doctor. He was very supportive with me the whole time, and checking up on me, which was I think that was a relief to know. I end up having a mastectomy. Actually, I did 3 of my chemo treatments, and then I was able to have a double mastectomy. But I'll be honest with you, even through the some of those days when I was feeling horrible, would you believe I got some calls from the cancer center, and they were just checking up on me to see how I was doing. That alone pepped my day, So I really, one of the things that, I like to tell people is it's not an easy journey. I won't say it is, but, if you stick around with people who really love and care for you, the journey is where, you can make it through this journey.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. Now, my question to you is, what would be your advice to Bahamian women in terms of anything breast cancer? Because as you know, we have some of the highest numbers. We have the highest prevalence of inherited breast cancer gene, the BRCA1, globally. And breast cancer in the Bahamas is usually detected, the majority of them are under the age of 50. So now we're seeing breast cancer in younger and younger women. What would be your advice to Bahamian women?
Definitely to go and get checked up. Before I was saying that when I was in my 30s, I did feel something, and I went and had it checked out, and it was nothing. But it was at that point they told me, because my breasts were fibrous, I need to be checking regularly. I neglected myself, when my doctor had told me, to check it again in another 3 months. You got to really pay attention to your body and, follow up, because like you said, we have a history of it. Now, in my family, I'm the first person that we know of that has breast cancer. So that was also kind of a shock for me, but I'm telling anybody, you may have a history, you may not even have a history. I was shocked to know that, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and, we trace back, and we can't really say that we know anybody who had breast cancer. So early detection is a key. It's really the key.
I agree. And thank you so much for your experiences, and continue to fight on. We're all in this together.
Yes.
Our next panelist is Suzette Hanna. Good evening, Ms. Hanna, and can you join in and share your experiences with us?
Hi, thank you, Dr. Fox. Good evening, everyone. My experience began September 2021. I had always sort of felt around the breast while showering, while lying down, and felt nothing. I had also done mammograms up to 2017, I think, that I had been doing them. I don't recall doing any in 2018 or 19. So that morning I felt the lump and made the appointment that day and did the mammogram that day. I then got the result, and at this time I hadn't consulted my doctors. I had none at that moment. And I saw on the results ultrasound. So I booked the ultrasound immediately. And then I realized I would need a medical reading, because, the radiologist immediately ran out and said, oh, you have to do a biopsy. And there's a difference between fear and fright, and they can come together. the fright will come in the first few months of being diagnosed, and then the fear may linger longer. So I immediately again booked for the biopsy, and I called a friend who is a doctor and said, listen, I need you to interpret whatever this is because I'm no medical person. And immediately when the results came, well, I was a bit scared, totally scared, not a bit. I was very scared. And so I said, can you recommend a doctor and can you recommend an oncologist? And he was a bit taken aback. But his reply to me after he saw my biopsy was, call this doctor, one of our nicest, sweetest doctors, right, Dr. Shea? Call him. And I made the call, and Dr. Shea called, said, come and see me. And then it just snowballed from there. Suzette, you have breast cancer in both breasts. Now, I'd only felt the lump in one. And to this day, I've had my double mastectomy. I have never felt the other lump, which was a more serious one. I call it serious. It was, it was stage 2 in the left, stage 1 in the right. I never ever felt the lumps in the left breast. I only felt one lump in the right. And then, so immediately the medical advice came in, and you have to trust your medical people. You know, you find out what do I do? And just like Mrs. Johnson just said, I had the full support of my family, and kudos to my husband who went to the University of Yahoo and collected as much evidence as possible about what should be next and could advise. So in fact, as I was dealing with the emotions of discovering cancer, he was dealing with the practical side, what next to do, who to see, how to make appointments, and generally being able to help me to organize. So I was able within the 2 months from September to November to begin treatment. Successfully did the PET scans, and then did the chemo, the radiation. And so September this year, of course, is 2 years since my last PET scan was in March, and that came out showing no signs of the cancer. But as my doctor said, once it gets into the lymph nodes, you have to be mindful and monitor quite a bit because the cancers tend to go wherever through the lymph system. So, lymphatic system. So that monitoring continues. But the strange thing, the fright is gone, I think. I think the fright is gone. The fear comes every now and again. But there's a marvelous thing of just realizing that there are some things in life you can control. And like Ms. Johnson, you wonder back at what did I do? What on earth did I do to have this growth suddenly come inside me and cause me this? And my female relatives, my young cousins and my sisters, out of everybody, I'm the only one was being shown any sign of this tumorous growth in me. So maybe it was just me alone, as far as I know it is. But through it all, faith, and a reliance on God has certainly kept me with heads up. I was able to continue working. I was able to get back on my feet after 6 months. Yeah, I took a little while. I continued working, but all my other social activities, because COVID was around again, limited exposure. But the medical team was fantastic. The team at the oncology unit at the PMH was really, really good. And the family support. So right now, I'm just waiting on my 3rd tumor marker, although I've had 2 good ones. And that's where I am in my walk.
Wow. So I'll ask you the same question. What advice would you give to Bahamian women to lower the numbers that we are seeing?
Don't wait. Don't wait. As soon as you know your body, and don't fall into wait and see if this little lump will do so. Find out and arm yourself with that. So that's the first thing, you don't wait. And as Miss Johnson said, don't let the fear overwhelm you with whether or not it's there and so on, but certainly immediate action, because I think doctor said to me, early detection is the key here. And so the day I found the lump is the day I started the process. And I think, I'd like to think that made a big difference in what my outcome has been. Because I too had the two, hair too.
Hers too. What experiences or what have you learned from your experience? What difference has this made in your life moving forward?
Oh dear. The first thing is life is precious. Life can change in a twinkling of an eye. You know, you're carrying on. Among the things is definitely to watch your diet. Oh man, change that. Cut out all those processed foods, the sweet stuff. That was kind of difficult to give up. Cakes, but you know, I can walk past lemon meringue pie and realize leave that alone.
You're stronger than me.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So you know, change your diet. If the evidence is pointing to what we're taking in is contributing to the growth of the tumors. So I would say change your diet, be mindful of what you're putting into your body, food-wise. And for me personally, there's a lot of faith in God. And I've learned to trust. I said, God, you are looking after what's inside, and I'll deal with everything else. So Lord, take control of this matter. And so for any woman who is right at this moment, even feeling a little lump anywhere, because that's something that I was told, even though I've had the mastectomies, so I can't do a mammogram like that. Lumps anywhere in your body, immediately get them checked out. Don't wait.
Good. And we thank you for sharing your experiences. And again, we continue to encourage you to push on, encourage people to have early screening, and to stay on top of anything that occurs. Our next guest is Miss Janet Johnson. Welcome, Miss Johnson. And can you tell us about your experiences?
Good evening, everyone. It's good to be here. And thank you for the invitation. I came to this differently. My sister is also on, Felicity Johnson. She's giveaway Felicity. She's a 6-year survivor. So
congratulations.
Yeah. So I am. I came into this. My father had prostate cancer. Died at 84. So he survived for 10 years with his cancer. And I understand that if there's prostate cancer in the family, then it's likely that there will be breast cancer. And so my sister Felicity experienced it first, and we all went through it with her. And so when I woke up one morning and just felt something, and I don't know, I have my doctor is on my WhatsApp, and so I sent her a note and I said, "Do you think I could get a mammogram today?" And she was on vacation, but she arranged it, and I went in, and then so that was Thursday, September of last year. And so that was the Thursday. On Friday, they said, "Could you come in for a biopsy?" And so I went in for the biopsy. And after that, they were able to tell me that there was something once the stuff had come back. In the meantime, I'd arranged to go and see Dr. Francis. So I was ahead of the results coming back. And also to see Dr. Turnquest here in Nassau. And by the time the results came back, we knew that it was stage 2, and that it was hormonal, and that they wanted to do some genetic testing. And so we did the genetic testing for the BRCA gene here in Nassau. Both came back negative. And then we proceeded on. So looking at insurance, it became clear that obviously it was going to be more advantageous to do it, to do my treatment in the United States. I didn't really want to. I'd really grown very fond of the doctors in Nassau. And obviously I wanted to be able to do it at home. But it was clear that it was more advantageous to go abroad. And my provider had just signed with Baptist Hospital, and I had a relationship with Baptist. I'd been there before for a checkup, and so I was very comfortable going back here, because I'm in Miami now. And so I went through the diagnosis here in Miami. It was very, very professional. They reassured me every step of the way. I've had excellent treatment. I did my chemo here. So I would come in on a Thursday and leave on a Friday. And I couldn't have done it without my emotional support, which is my sister Jill, who's here with me, and my sister Felicity in Nassau. They were incredible. And so I went through 18 weeks of chemo. That was 8 sessions. It was supposed to be 16 weeks, but 2 of the weeks I had setbacks, 2 different types of setbacks, and so I couldn't travel. But I got through the chemo. It was an experience. I would come back on a Friday, and by Saturday midday I was down and out, and then that would last in its intensity for about 2 or 3 days, and then I'd start to climb back up. So I also had a great support team, and that is incredibly important to somebody going through this journey. I call them Team Janet, and I would blog every time, every session that I had. I would blog and talk about the experience, what it felt like. So I've documented my journey. And at some point I'll go back and look through and read what I've written. And I don't know what I'll do with it, but I'm glad that I did it. They also asked me to do genetic testing as part of the treatment that I went through here at Baptist. And setting up for that, they required that I go through my family's history. And I went back 3 to 4 generations and discovered that about 16 members of my family, the Johnson family, had suffered from some form of cancer. So it's in the family. But Felicity and I are the only 2 that have had the breast cancer. And we've had quite a few of the males on the Johnson Mitchell side that have experienced the prostate cancer. So it's there. And one thing that Felicity did as soon as she discovered that she had breast cancer was that she was very open with it. We have a family chat, and so she immediately shared everything with our cousins, and I did the same. So we've encouraged everyone to be tested regularly. We have a cousin in Grand Bahama who heads up the US2, which is the male version of the cancer support system. And they are extremely active in Grand Bahama. And he is incredible in terms of what he's been able to do and build from the ground up. So we really applaud him and fully support what he's doing. One of the other things that I was told and encouraged to do was to exercise and to keep active. I have a very, very understanding boss, and he was very kind and allowed me to work from home through this process. And I'm very, very grateful for that. But I was encouraged to exercise because that will help with the cancer and your treatments and how you feel about it. So I joined a group that does aerobics in the pool. So it's low impact, but you get it's a tremendous workout. And so whatever you decide to do, whether you walk or play tennis or whatever you decide to do, stay active and keep going. I throughout my treatment was extremely positive. I think I owe a lot of that to my sister because, having seen her go through it and how positive she was, and seeing that she's now a 6-year survivor and celebrating with her when she goes to get her annual checkup, and comes back and it's positive. That has helped a lot, and helped me to make a quantum leap through the chemo and now on Thursday I'm about to have surgery, and that surgery is for a lumpectomy. The chemo was supposed to reduce the tumors and to kill off any cells that may have escaped to the lymph nodes, and hopefully they did do that. I know that the tumor has been reduced of the results of an MRI, a mammogram, and an ultrasound. So and an X-ray. So I'm just hoping that on Thursday everything goes well, and that I have a safe recovery. And then obviously afterwards, the radiation to clean up anything that's left behind. But the feeling was that that because of it being stage 2, because of it being hormonal, and the fact that there's nothing in the left breast, that they didn't feel that the mastectomy was necessary. I think they've made so many advances in cancer now. As Ms. Johnson said, it's not a death sentence, and so they that's what they're prescribing for me this time, and so that's what we're going to do on Thursday. And I'm here having pre-ops. They keep you so busy going to different appointments and to do this and to do that, and why could you just do that there? But they have their plan, and And so I'm just following instructions and trying to do the best I can. And I'm just happy that I got through the chemo, and that my hair's coming back, and my eyebrows, and it's an experience. It really is an experience, and it's not one that you want to go through, but if you have to go through it, there are lots of teachable moments along the way. It's an awakening about life. You take stock of life, and it encourages you to look at things differently. Last year, I was active with the Dragon Boat Race, and I really wanted to participate this year, and I couldn't. And obviously, the Cancer Society is affiliated with the Dragon Boat Race, and so is Willie Shea. But I will be there next year. I want to participate. I want to be in the Dragon Boat, and I encourage everybody else to do it. Again, trying to be as active and keeping things going and participating as much as you possibly can.
Well, thank you for that amazing experience. I have a question for you. What was your lowest point and why? And second question is, what advice would you give to young Bahamian women about early detection for breast cancer?
Well, early detection is key. And obviously, you must have your mammograms every year. I'm with the International Culture, Wine and Food Festival, and we brought back our raffle this year. And I'm very proud to say that a couple of places were able to give me free mammograms for women to hopefully win as prizes and or be given the winning prize and go and get tested. I know that and I too was guilty during the pandemic of not going and getting tested. I think the pandemic set people back a long way, but now we are beyond that, and we can't wait. It's too prolific, and we have to ensure that we are healthy. It's hitting our young as well as I'm 64 years old, so it's also the older generation, and I just think that any woman needs to know her body and needs to go and get tested. And then my lowest point, I would think it would have been during one of the chemo journeys, when I was trying to climb out. You just feel so low. What one funny point, if I may, I was going to Miami, and what I would generally do is drive my car to my sister's house, leave my car there, and her husband would take us to the airport and drop us off. And I guess my chemo brain was working. Yeah, I was working that morning, and I got to the roundabout by her house and just didn't go around it. I didn't know what happened, but the next thing I knew, I was on the airport road heading to the airport, and so I called her and I said, "Can you all just come, because I'm going," and so they followed me to the airport, but that was really funny that morning when that happened. But chemo brain is real. You forget things. You do strange things. I'm still doing it.
Me too.
and I blame it chemo brain. So yeah, it's an experience.
Indeed, it is. One question for curiosity and for the public consumption. You said that you were doing a lumpectomy. Why a lumpectomy? Was it recommended as compared to a mastectomy? And just explain so people can understand the difference between the two.
Sure. As I said, they feel that. And the Baptist Health is a center of excellence. They feel that they've made so many advances in breast cancer research that they don't need to take the breast off if they don't have to. And if they feel that if it's caught early, and I guess stage 2 to them is caught early, they can go in, they can withdraw the cancerous parts of the tissue and send that to pathology and get it back in real time. And so they don't feel that in the past where they did mass mastectomies that's necessary, that they can go in, do what they have to do if it's not too advanced, and save the breast. And so that's what it is. They're going in, taking out the tissue that's required for the pathology, and then and cleaning it up, and then that's what a lumpectomy is. It's leaving the breast intact, and then whereas a mastectomy is taking it off.
Okay, thank you for that. And just to confirm what you were saying about age, we know that age is increases as you increase in age, your risk factor for developing breast cancer is dramatically increased. Okay. Also, breast cancer numbers remain high, but more accurate detectors are available. For example, nowadays there are more accurate and precise screening tools with less radiation, like the 3D mammogram, and less screening. So you find that a lot of women, because of the fear, the pain of having a mammogram, don't do it. But they can be rest assured that the more accurate and recent technologies are not as painful. So we encourage you to get your screening. And thank you for that experience. It's experiences like yours and testimonies like yours and the other two women that make it easier for people who are currently going through this or who have fears and hesitations. When they hear your story, they are encouraged that cancer indeed is not a death sentence and you can survive it. You can survive. And I thank you so much for your testimony and your story. And thank you for joining us.
Welcome.
Are there any other members that would like to give testimony at this time?
Well, I want to say something. I'm Erin here at the Cancer Society, and I also too a breast cancer survivor. And, you know, all of the ladies mentioned about early detection and you know your body. And I stress that to a lot of ladies. You know your body. You know your body better than anyone else. So you know when there are changes or something that is abnormal that is going on. And I find that fear takes over. And listening to stories of other persons who may not have gone through the journey. They talk about their sister, auntie, cousin, who went through it. And sometimes there are underlying issues that other persons have when they're diagnosed that may cause them to succumb. But that doesn't mean that that will be your story or that will be your journey. So, get tested, know what's going on in its early stages where it is treatable. And, women hang on sometimes to their breasts because, that's their beauty, or their significant others say, well, I like breasts. I like women with breasts. So they want to hold on to their breasts because they want to keep, But if that person is not supporting you in pro-life, then, sometimes you need to weigh out, is it his body? Would he have hang on to something that may cause his life? And these are questions that we as women need to ask ourselves and not worry about other persons or what family members would think or say. And getting a support group is very, very, very important. A support group that will encourage you with positive and motivate you and to help you with your faith and your journey walk, and not to tell you anything negative, because you're going through a stressful period and you don't need someone to be telling you something negative to be adding on to what you're going through. So, surround yourself with positive persons who will support you. And that's a time in life when sometimes you need to shed, you need to let go of certain friends or just distance yourself from family members that are not supporting you in your fight, is not helping you build up the strength to overcome this disease. And it's a mind, body, and soul, where once your mind is set, you can overcome. You will overcome. And the fear needs not to take over, and to speak to persons like I think it was Miss Hannah or Miss Johnson, getting the names mixed up, who spoke to the lady in Freeport and encourage her. And that's what we need. We need to speak with persons who have gone through this journey, and to let us know that you too can come through this and overcome the disease. And we need to get rid of that fear in women, fear of getting tested, a fear of the mammogram machine because they said, oh, it's uncomfortable. That's a few seconds of discomfort, and to know that your breast is still intact, or if there is something, it's in the early stages where you can get it treated and, hopefully live a healthy and normal life. We have also Dr. Kitty Roll Adderley, and she wants to say something because she has a special for cancer survivors and to help, especially with their lymphatic system. So, Kitty, are you there? You want to say something?
I am. Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for the opportunity to sit and listen and to share your stories. I hear these stories quite often because one of my roles as a physical therapist is also as a breast cancer rehab specialist. So for the last 19 years, I have been a lymphedema therapist, and by default, I've been treating all the other sequelae, what we call the latent long-term side effects of breast cancer treatment. We understand, one, that a lot of women aren't aware of these latent long-term side effects until that actually happens to them. So I have really tried to educate survivors about these side effects, how to prevent them and how to manage them. And I realize sometimes too, financially, it can be a challenge seeking treatment when these things do occur. So for the month of October, we're running a special at Handling Your Health. You can get 2 sessions for the price of one. And it's $250. So you get your initial assessment and a treatment and a secondary treatment. And when we talk about these late and long-term side effects, we're talking about the lymphedema, the swelling that can occur. We're talking about the scar tissue, radiation fibrosis. If you're stiff, if you're painful, if you have difficulty moving your shoulder after treatment, breathing challenges, if you just want to work out all of the conditions that you may be presented with. And just to have a credible medical trained resource that you can have these discussions with when things come up. When do I get excited? When do I get, when I seek medical attention? And we're really trying to work on prospective surveillance, bringing the survivors in every 3 to 6 months just to make sure that, the swelling, if you do have lymphedema, is at bay and there's nothing else going on. So I will take any questions that you may have, or you can reach out to me at Handling Your Health. We're on Facebook, and I'll put the contact in the chat. So if you'd like to talk more about it, you can just reach out to me. So thank you so much to the Cancer Society, to you, Aaron, Dr. Fox, for giving me the opportunity to share this information. And it's my pleasure to serve.
Thank you. Thank you.
We had a question earlier, and I told the person they can ask, or we can, if your results is abnormal and don't have a primary physician, what type of physician do you seek?
Normally a primary care who will assess the results and then make a referral to the oncologist, oncology services.
So you're saying once you get your results back, it should go to your primary physician or the person. Say, for instance, Dr. Fox, we have this month is Breast Cancer Month, and we have, I think, Island Love that gives away so many free mammograms. Most of them may not have a family physician. There's maybe first time getting, like, what do they do? If their results come back normal, what should they do? What's the next step?
If their results come back normal,
abnormal.
Oh, if their results come back abnormal, like I said, they should see their family physician. So,
but if they don't have one, so what do they do?
They can always come to the Medi Center, or they can find any general practitioner, or they can even go to the government clinics, have their results interpreted, let the doctor discuss their options, and make the referral to the oncology services and to the oncology surgical department. In the event they have to have a mastectomy, a lumpectomy, and then stage and grade the tumor and decide whether chemo and radiation is needed.
Okay. Good stuff.
Good evening. Hello.
Hi, Doctor.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Very good. Very good symposium tonight. And I want to thank Denise and Suzette and Janet and Aaron for giving their stories. The most of the speakers definitely hit the nail on the head in terms of what we should do. We should always, like they said, look at good nutrition, exercise, and good support system. All the speakers mentioned doing that to some degree, and the more of it, the better. And we cannot reiterate screening. Screening is the most important thing. If you detect something early, then we can treat it more effectively and get you a cure. Even though it's a bad diagnosis, we can give you a cure. I see 3 out of the 4 had their treatments here locally. Suzette even had some treatment at the Princess Margaret Oncology Department. So we all have a mixed bag of how we got treated, but essentially we can do everything they can do at Baptist here in the Bahamas. We can do all the screening tools. We can do all the special radiological tests such as MRI, CT scans, PET scans, and we also have a radiation center here. So it's a matter how what you can afford and what advice you get. But we can do everything that we can do here. I want to thank Denise for participating in Dragon Boat. She actually won one of the races. That's very good. And Janet, we hope to see you there next year. And Suzette, still going to encourage you to come on the boats too. And you meet a lot of survivors there, and you meet people from international survivors. So all in all, and a lot of camaraderie going on in there. But thank you to all, and thanks for accepting my invitation to come and speak on tonight's symposium.
Thank you for your input, Dr. Shea. Aaron, anything else?
No, nothing else, but we still have the floor open for a few more minutes, for anyone else that want to tell their story, because, I always feel that even though we've all gone through this journey, the journey takes us down the same path with chemotherapy, with surgery, with radiation, with the bad feelings, with the hair lost, the hands turning black, the chemo brain. And Janet, I still have that, and it's been over 4 years. But everybody's story is just slightly different. And persons out there who haven't been affected or who have these is going through something with their breast. Sometimes they just need to hear persons who have survived, persons who have overcome, whether it be stage 1 or stage 3, to know that life, once you treat it and you have a positive mind, you will overcome. You hear the words echoing in your head once you hear the doctor says you have breast cancer. The only thing you hear is, I'm going to die, I'm going to die, I'm going to die, I'm going to die. And they're giving you information to preserve your life, but you just hearing blah, 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 I'm going to die. So we need to reach out to those ladies. Yes, it's fearful when you've been diagnosed. It's a scary, scary situation, but, talk to other persons, say what is going on, and persons who you may never know have gone through the journey can help you overcome and go through that journey with less stress. So anybody else out there would like to tell their story, because your story will help somebody else.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Sound like you're cutting in and out. I heard you at first.
Could I go ahead until the person is able?
So
Sure.
Okay. I just wanted to say, and just to echo, the 3 ladies have said tonight about acting as quickly as you can on your diagnosis. I didn't feel a lump. I woke up at 2:00 one morning with a pain in my breast. The pain woke me up. And that pain said to me, something is wrong. Go to your doctor. Something is wrong. So it can manifest itself, the warning symptoms, in a variety of ways. And pain is one of those in your breast, which is not often talked about. I, unfortunately, had a suspicious mammogram. I went and got a second opinion. The second opinion assured me that there was not anything there. But make sure you go next year and get your mammogram. As Denise Johnson said, you get busy with life. I tried to call to make a mammogram appointment. A couple of times I couldn't get through. I had a busy career. I didn't forget to do the mammogram. I just let it slide and slide and slide until I got that pain in the breast. And then I realized, just missing 1 year, just missing can take you from stage 1 to stage 3 when I was diagnosed. And in fact, they put me at 3B. I was high risk. And so I had a double mastectomy, and, the chemo and the radiation, 37 rounds of radiation until my skin broke, just to make sure that everything had been cleaned up. but it is so important, particularly as we get older, that we get those mammograms, those screenings every year, because missing 1 year can make all the difference in your treatment. So I just wanted to emphasize that.
Well, we thank you for that, and we thank you for sharing your experience. And we wish you continued success on this journey. Is there anybody else that would like to share their story?
Sheena was trying to share her story, but her signal was bad. I don't know if she's in a better position now. Okay, no, she said no, her signal is not good. Sorry.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
I just want to say a special good night to those persons who shared their story. I'm not a survivor of breast cancer. However, I heard something that piqued my interest. The fact that one of the panelists said that once there's prostate cancer in the family, the likelihood of breast cancer shows up. And my grandfather, my maternal grandfather, had prostate cancer. And so I just want to encourage the Cancer Society to continue to have these meetings, because I'm learning something new now. I am 50. I have fibrocystic breast. And I was never told that because my grandfather had prostate cancer that I should be particularly, mindful to keep up with my annual mammograms, and I have not. So I just want to encourage you guys to continue with these sessions, because you don't know who's learning what, and I'm very grateful for it. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to keep following you guys. Thanks so much, for sharing.
And thank you for your input. And now that you're armed with this knowledge, we hope that you continue your screening on a regular, consistent basis and encourage other people to be screened as well. Is there anybody else that would like to give a testimony?
I'd like to share as well.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Well, I'm not a survivor, but my mom would have died in 2021. And she was diagnosed with stage 1 breast cancer. However, when she went to get both breasts removed, she was coughing a lot. And so we were told that we needed to get to the root of the problem. And this was during the COVID. And we were from doctor to doctor trying to find out why she had this cough, why she couldn't get rid of the cough. And so it took a while, a few months actually. And it was only after she started to feel something in her side that we decided to take her back to the doctor. And when we went back to the doctor, we were told that she had reached to stage 4.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Very devastating. The thing about it is, she wasn't sick or anything, so we were feeling good, saying, well, she didn't have to see the doctor during the COVID. We were just feeling good. And after she felt the pain, we took her back to the doctor, and they said it was just at stage 4. I mean, that took so much out of us. And so I'd just like to tell people, when you're diagnosed with cancer, you have to move quickly. We didn't know that. You have to move quickly. Whatever needs to be done has to be done right away. We weren't told that. And my mom, she lasted for about a year. And that was it. And so if you're diagnosed, you have to move quickly with whatever needs to be done. And that's what I'd like to share with persons on this whole meeting tonight.
Well, we thank you, and that's encouraging. And like I said, we continue to advise early screening, because early detection is best for a complete cure. Anybody else? Aaron, Dr. Shea, anything?
Make a comment on the genetic aspect of it. Although Dr. Fox, you mentioned that we in the Bahamas have the highest incidence of the BRCA gene. Is number 23, Michael Jordan's number. 23% of patients with breast cancer have that gene. However, most of our breast cancer patients are from sporadic cases rather than genetics. So, as Janet said, her father had prostate cancer, but she didn't test positive for the BRCA gene. But the last speaker said that her father had prostate cancer, so she should be leery about breast cancer. There is some association with the BRCA gene with prostate cancer and ovarian cancer and breast cancer. So keep that mindful. But just to reiterate, most of our breast cancers are sporadic and not actually genetic. They're sporadic.
Thank you for that, Dr. Shea. Aaron, anything?
No, it's just to remind them of our family fun annual bingo night on the 28th at Super Club Breezes. Admission is free. We start at 6:30. Doors open at 6:30. Games will start about 7. And we have lots of prizes, and it's always a fun family night. So come on, bring the whole family and enjoy the event.
So let's get excited about the bingo night and participate and support.
Yeah, and we still have some shirts available. If we still have three more Fridays to wear pink at work, so you can come check out the Cancer Society and come and get your shirts. Knowing that the proceeds go towards helping those persons from the family island that are diagnosed with breast cancer get to stay in a comfortable, peaceful, clean surroundings while they go through the stress of treatments. So we make them as comfortable as possible so they have to worry about nothing, well, hopefully nothing, but we make them as comfortable as we possibly can. And it can only be done by the help of the community and the general public.
Thank you, Aaron. Well, since nobody else has any other contributions, I'd just like to thank all the people that participated in the panel discussion. As a cancer survivor, I can say that having a good support system and staying positive is key to recovery and to survival. And everybody that participated in the panel seemed to have had a positive family or friends or group support, which encouraged them to push on and make it through and live to tell the story. I encourage you to continue to give your testimony, because it's through these testimonies that people become more confident in surviving and have less fear. And like most of you said, cancer indeed is not a death sentence. Most people think it is. Some people even think that telling somebody else that they have cancer is shameful. I know a lot of times when I tell people about my cancer, they're like, why are you telling people that? Nobody should know that. But you need to get the word out there that early screening and detection is key to survival. You need to let people know that it's not a death sentence and tell them your experience, all your experiences from start to finish, so that they know that they can do it as well and survive and live to tell the story. Again, I thank you. I wish you continued success in your journey. And I hope that we can lower the numbers in this country and have better survival rates. Thank you and good night.
Good night.